I used to think that landing my dream job in the world's most expensive city was the ultimate goal, but then reality hit. Between the crushing weight of professional rejection and a bank account that's constantly screaming for help, I've had to completely redefine what success looks like in 2026. They don't tell you that the biggest career breakthroughs usually happen right after your most public failures. Living in this high-stakes city has taught me more about resilience and wealth management than any corporate job ever could. Here's how I turned my latest rejection into a financial roadmap. Hello, my name is NK and welcome back to my channel. Getting rejected, growing up, and going broke. We are going to be talking about how I navigated my 20s into my 30s in the most expensive city in the world, aka New York City. I really want to do a realistic look at my growth, my finances, and how we got from point A to point B. And when I say point B, I want to make it very clear that there is so much more growing to do. I know that I am still so young and I have so much more in my career that I haven't even tapped into, which is very exciting. And for you listening right now, you probably also are in the same exact position with your career. You might feel a little stuck and a little lost, and that is okay. Just remembering that you have so much more to give. You have so much more life in you to put forth into your dreams and to making your career anything and everything you want it to be. Because let us not forget, whatever we did even last year doesn't define us. We can pivot and change. And I want to take you guys through everything within my career from early 20s to now and show you guys how so much of it was not linear. This is technically going back into our budget conversation, but I did want to take a little bit of a different spin on it. I thought it would be really interesting to share how work has impacted my budget. But before we continue, take some time right now to subscribe to my channel. I have been doing a lot of budget related videos lately, and honestly, talks like these, things that a lot of people don't talk about on YouTube or just on social media as a whole. And one thing about me, I won't shy away from these types of topics because we're all thinking them. It's really important to bring these kinds of chats to the forefront so that other people know that they're not alone and they're really helpful for other people as well. So take some time right now to subscribe because we do a lot of these chats and it is a fun time over here on this channel. So number one is the real cost of dreaming big. I'm a big dreamer. I love to think outside of the box. And for a very long time, I wanted to move to New York City. That was my biggest dream at the time. I first said I wanted to move to New York City in 2013. So 13 years ago. It took me 10 years to actually move here. I moved here in 2023. I was really proud of myself. I was proud of myself for making that move. But before we made that move, we have to go back in time and we have to deconstruct how we actually got here. So in college, I was a accounting major and a PR minor. One thing about me, I am very good at math. I'm very good at computation, analytical stuff. Did accounting for my parents' benefit. I did accounting because my peers at the time were in accounting classes. And I did those things because other people told me I should rather than what do I actually want. So I did 3 years of corporate accounting. And within those 3 years, I realized that this was not for me. At the ripe age of 25, I knew that this was not my journey. Accounting is a stable job. It is always a high demand job, but the return on it is not that high. At least it wasn't for me in my position. So I knew that I needed to figure out what will actually make me happy, but also all the while earn a living and make sure that whatever I do next will support my livelihood. So in 2020, which was 3 years into being in corporate accounting, I did get laid off because of the pandemic, but I have always said that was a sign from the universe saying that you do need to pivot completely and do something that you're actually passionate about and figure out how you're going to make it work. Then I decided to pour into content creation, which has always been my love. I'm so creative. I have always had such a creative mind. Even though I do have an analytical mind, there was something about being creative that I never let go of. And I'm happy I didn't because here we are 6 years later telling the story on YouTube that I get paid to do. But the story of getting into content creation is actually quite a long story. I do have that entire story on my podcast. I believe it is episode 9 if you are curious on hearing about it. Made enough money in the first 2 years of doing content creation to support my move to New York City. It was a very costly move. Looking back, there was a lot of things I didn't have to spend money on, but I digress. It was the move that I needed to do to support my dreams, but there was a huge cost associated to that move. In 2023, I saw how quickly money was evaporating into thin air. My rent, the outings I was going on, change of lifestyle as a whole. I remember sitting at my bank's office and talking with one of the advisors, literally on the verge of tears, letting him know that I am so scared about making it here in New York City because I was new. I didn't know what to do here yet. I'm coming from California, which I had lived there for 10 years. I was really honest with him and said that I am a little scared of staying in New York City because the cost of living here is so great. You really have to figure out how you're going to make money and how you're going to make a living. Increasingly harder as a creative. It is increasingly harder as somebody who has decided to go out on their own, be freelance, have their own business. The stakes are higher. And it is important to be honest about that. And like I did mention, I am self-employed and I have been self-employed since 2020. When I moved to New York City, when I stepped foot in New York City, I was hungry for work. I was hungry for finding new opportunities to pay my rent, to afford my lifestyle here. I needed to figure out how to make it work. I will say there were a lot of great opportunities I had in year one, but I got a lot of no's. I got a lot of people just outright ignoring me and ghosting me in work settings, in work opportunities. In New York City, it was just increasingly harder. So because of all the no's that I received, I had to do a radical shift. I had to do a complete 180 and figure out how I was going to structure my professional and financial life. Number 2 is modern financial survival tactics. I already broke down my monthly budget in video 1, but I will just put it on screen here for anybody who is new and has not seen that video. My monthly budget for New York City specifically is $2,500. I've broken down how that works for me, why that works for me. It's not just the 2.5K that I am thinking about. I am also thinking about the other pots of money that I am putting toward student loans, for credit card, for traveling, for doing other things in my life that are very important to me. If you didn't know, rent did spike 15% in 2026. And I think it's important to share those types of numbers because a lot of people who don't live in New York City don't really understand real estate climate, which is completely fine. But even the people who live in New York City, who are born and raised New Yorkers, they also might not know these things. I really needed to figure out how to save money on rent because rent is the biggest expense. A tip that I want to drop here, a micro pivot strategy. Even if you are looking for full-time work, if you are in corporate or if you are doing something that's not freelance, but even if you are doing freelance, this applies to everyone across the board. Looking for ways to diversify your income is very, very, very encouraged. This is coming from someone who has multiple streams of income, who has had multiple streams of income since 2020 when I decided that I did want to work for myself, especially in New York City. So many people do that. So many people actually work 2 to 3 jobs. So many people have different ways that they make their ends meet. That is the reality. Diversifying your income is a really great way to just make sure that you have money coming in regularly. And I did mention this in the other budget videos, but there are a ton of apps that I use to track my spending. Notion is the most prevalent one for me. I have my monthly budget on there for investing. I've talked about Robinhood. I've talked about Acorns. I use my Bank of America app to auto deduct money to put into my savings account every single month. These are just tangible ways that you can navigate your financials. Number 3, the psychological toll of the hustle. I believe it was last video or the video before that, I did talk about how New York City has a hustle culture like no other. I have fed into that so many times, and I know I did say that I do like hustle culture to an extent, but it does take a toll on you. Everyone is going 10,000 miles an hour here. It really feels like if you are not keeping up with everybody, you are left behind. Believe it or not, as much as there is so much opportunity and vibrancy in New York City, and that is the draw of New York City, that's why people come here to live out their dreams, there is just as much rejection. And that rejection can make you feel very, very lonely. And there were so many parts of my 3-year journey so far that have been deeply lonely because of this. Going for an opportunity and really thinking I had it in the bag and it falls through. And I get ghosted. I don't get the opportunity that I so wanted. Definitely does impact your confidence in your work. It almost can make you doubt your capabilities and your skills, but don't let it. Please do not let it. Another important point to make here is to detach your worth from your wages, from how much you make. I remember saying this last year at this point when I moved into this apartment. I am not defined by my apartment. I'm not defined by these material things, and money is one of them. There are a lot of times where I have felt that way because other people kind of project that narrative, but over here, we will never do that. When you detach your worth from how much you make, it really helps to curb burnout. You feel like you are on an endless hamster wheel. That's how burnout happens. I am no stranger to burnout. I've experienced it so many times in New York City. And that's when I knew that I had to change the way I think. I have to change the way that I view hustle culture, because there are some times that it can be really motivating and exciting and kind of intoxicating and infectious. And that energy of New York City that everyone talks about, that's kind of part of it. However, there comes a time where it is a little detrimental, and you have to be able to spot the difference, especially when you're looking for a new job. So say right now you might be in between jobs, and the job market as well right now is not great. And I also want to acknowledge that. Even as a self-employed individual, there have been so many times where I have had a lot of lulls in my client work, a lot of lulls in brand opportunities, and that has messed with my head. It's made me feel like I'm not worthy. That's not true, because I know that there have been so many seasons in my life that have been so fruitful. I'm still the same person. It's just the market right now is not so great. So I don't want you to guilt yourself and think that you are not doing the best you can, because you are. And a ritual I really want to bestow on to you guys watching is to think about all the good that you've done. I actually have a running list on my notes app of all of my accomplishments in New York City, specifically all of the really cool, amazing things that I have gotten to do in New York City. When I look at that list, it makes me smile because I realize I am that same girl. Even though right now feels like a tumultuous time, a uncertain time for work, an uncertain time for opportunities, that doesn't discount all that I got to do in the past. And that has no bearing on what I will do in the future. And you have to look at all your opportunities in that same way. Number 4 is investing in growth when capital is low. So this one can definitely apply to any career you are in, whether you are working for yourself or working for corporate. There are so many free platforms that you can use to hone in your skills, develop yourself. This is why I say get a library card, because you can rent books for free at the library. You can rent media at the library that can help you get better at whatever you do for work. And the better you are at something, the more you shine and the more you stand out in the pool of all the other people around you vying for that same opportunity. There's also so many networking events in the city, and probably everywhere, that are free. Everywhere is a networking event, literally. I told you guys in a few videos back, I signed a client 2 years ago at a Yankees game. Very unexpected, but career opportunities literally happen everywhere. You just have to go out and be open and willing to talking to new people, talking to people who you find interesting. That is how one thing leads to another. Before you know it, you have a new client, you have a new job opportunity. And actually what I just explained about the Yankees game is the proximity principle, which essentially means good things happen to people who are around them to experience them. So if you are in direct proximity to events, speakers, engagements that you're interested in, more than likely you are going to be looked at for the opportunity because you are literally right there experiencing them. And this is how you access a lot of hidden opportunities that are not posted online. And those are the opportunities that are so cool. And this happens in New York City literally every single day. It's definitely important to prioritize your social capital, your network, and think about the people who you surround yourself with. There are probably people who are at positions at companies and brands literally can help you get to where you want to go. As a lot of people say, New York is about who you know, and honestly, that couldn't be more true. There's so many people who are in places of power and places of status and places of access. If you befriend them, if you network, and if you are intentional about seeking out these opportunities, the opportunities will naturally come to you. Number 5 is building a resilient path forward. So I think it's important to formulate a strategic plan of your next 6 months. So think about your next 6 months. We are in May. Think about from now until October of 2026. What exactly do you think that you can do to actually put all of this into motion? Just remember that your recent setbacks don't define you. I literally say that every other day because there are things that I don't get to do, and there's things that I have been passed up for. And it makes me think that I'm not good enough, and that's not true. You are worthy, and you encompass the skills and the assets to have any career that you want, truly. And your plan can look like interview prep once a week with questions you find online or questions that you might ask a friend what they have been asked in recent interviews. You can also go to a networking event, maybe once a week, once every month. And as I mentioned, I know that the 2026 job market is insane right now. Definitely feeling for anybody who is struggling during this time because it is not easy, and I do not want to sugarcoat that. But I also want to offer some hope. There's so many things that can flip so quickly, especially here in New York City. I've seen it with myself. Always have to remember that I am so equipped with the skills and the knowledge and the years of putting myself out there, wanting better for myself, and I want better for you, and I know you want better for yourself as well. So please don't give up. I really want it to be very clear that while you are in this uncertain time with looking for work, looking for your next career opportunity, your next job, there are so many ways that you can stay within budget, not feel like you are actually going broke in the city. The city is expensive. We can't discount that. However, there are a lot of things that you can do in the interim while you are not getting a paycheck to still experience New York City. And there's so many free things in New York City, and I do talk about that quite often. Check out my other videos on my budget, on how I actually go throughout New York City, live a very happy, fruitful life, and still stay on a budget. And that is it for this video. I really hope that you got some guidance and support from it. Remember to subscribe if you're new here. Also remember to thumbs up this video if you enjoyed it, as I hope you did. And I will talk to you guys next week.